What's up guys, my name's Joe and welcome to episode 1 of my FM16 playthrough. Now I just downloaded the game so I haven't had a chance to play around with any of the new features. I just decided to get straight into it. As to choosing a team, I tend to go with just an English team outside of the Prem, so it's more like a journey. I was thinking of choosing a championship team, so I had a quick look and after thinking for a bit, I decided to choose MK Dons. Now, they don't really have the best reputation amongst football fans, especially AFC Wimbledon. So my aim is to turn them into a powerhouse in English football, at least. And eventually, I aim to win the Prem and hopefully even the Champions League and get a 5-star reputation. I personally don't support MK Dons. I mean, I don't have anything against them, but I'm not a fan. But I am decently familiar with their squad. I know a few players. They've got a few decent players, but I will be looking to really have an overhaul of the squad and improve it, depending on how much money. I haven't even checked the budgets, but I'll do the best with what I get. Also, as a side note, I have a habit of calling MK Dons McDons, as in McDonald's. I'm not sure how MK Dons fans feel about that, but watch out for some terrible puns. I might say I'm loving it, something. I don't know. It's just a thing about MK Dons. Basically, the MK Dons, they're trying to create their own brand, and I'm gonna try and come in and, yeah, as I said, really turn them into a powerhouse of English football. That's my aim. First season, probably just looking to stay up mid-table, but really, as a long-term aim, I do want to win the Prem and get them into a team where we're expected to win, not just win the Prem, but a team that are expected to win and go on to bigger, better things. But that is a long-term aim. Hopefully this will go about for a while. I will try and stay committed to it. This is just the beta, so yeah, saves do carry over, and hopefully I can get into it. I can not rush through it, but really just get going and steadily get through it. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead now and I'll create my manager and set up the game, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm at the new manager appearance screen, and because I'm incredibly mature, obviously I called my manager Ronald McDonald, because, carrying on with that McDonald's theme. It's a great name, it's hilarious, isn't it? And of course I made my manager short and fat and Scottish, because why not? I didn't really have a reason. I'm not really sure about this whole manager appearance. I liked it better in FM14, where it was more like you were out of the game, you weren't involved. But then ever since they started putting in the tactical, you choosing your own stats, tactical or tracksuit manager, and this whole manager appearance thing, I like that disconnect. I like feeling like you weren't just another person in the game. But I thought it was there, so may as well not just keep it standard so you can see him on the sidelines, and just quickly did this. So this is what it's going to be looking like. Favourite team, it doesn't know this really matters. I'm not sure what Ronald McDonald's favourite team is, to be honest. And preferred formation, I'll play about with the formations a bit in pre-season. In FM15 I used a 4-3-3 variant most of the time, but you have to play about and see what suits each game, and this is obviously the beta, so there could be not broken, but glitches and balancing issues of some kind. I'm not sure how it's going to run, so I didn't really set many of these up. As you can see, only England's playable. Go down to the Championship. I haven't got any badge packs or anything either, but because it's the Championship, it's fine anyway. And here we go. MK Dons, professional, national representation, nickname the Dons, owner status loves club, transfer policy none, which is good. Finances okay. Loan debt is a bit, none of these look terrible. There's a decent stadium as well, considering that they've only just gone up. And average training and new facilities. Nothing incredible. It's 23rd here, but I don't see that happening. Unless I bomb drastically, I can not see us getting relegated. I'm aiming more for a lower mid-table finish if I was going to be realistic. But yeah, they're a very mediocre team. I don't mean to cause any offence, but they're not spectacular if you just take a look at the squad. I won't go through the players individually yet. I'll do that a bit later. And then I'll go through the signings I might make as well. If you just look through the squad, there are a few names you can see, but none of them jump out at you. You know, Matthew Upson, he's an experienced head. That's always good to see. Samuel Cruyff was former Aston Villa player, I believe. I think he had some potential as a cam. Sergio Guz, he's the Spanish one, isn't he? He's a playmaker, if I remember correctly. I recognise his name. Josh Murphy, the one on loan from Norwich, he certainly has some potential. At least he did last game. Simon Church, Welsh striker. Didn't really do much at Charlton. He used to be at Reading, but he's a decent striker, along with Nicky Maynard, another player who's a bit past his heyday and didn't really make much of himself at Cardiff or West Ham, but he was very good back at Bristol City. Sam Gallagher, if he's the one from Southampton, that's also a good loan signing. So there's a few loan signings here. Diego Poyet as well, Gus Poyet's son, the West Ham centre mid. He certainly progressed for me last year. So just looking about, there's some of these other names I recognise, but as I said, I didn't want to go through every single player. But I will assess the squad a bit later. But basically, this team I've decided to choose, and I'm going to stick with it. And I don't think they're 23rd bad, and especially with me managing, I don't mean to be arrogant. I don't consider myself the best FM player, but certainly a decent player. Without wanting to set too much expectation on myself. Obviously I'll just do the suggest. There's no point making myself an international footballer when I'm managing MK Dons. As I said, I tend to do lower league saves where I start with no coaching license, but as I am in the Championship, I will just do that. And I see it as a benefit to be a tactical manager, because most of these, in my opinion at least, you can just have your assistants or coaching staff do, so they're not really as necessary. Excuse me. So adaptability. Now, I think it was a common mistake last year that adaptability was about adapting your tactics, when actually I think someone told me, I'm not sure actually, so I don't want to sound too confident, but I think it's more related to like adapting to new clubs and learning the language and going to different, moving clubs and stuff. And I don't intend to move clubs, so I can move this down a bit, which frees up my space to just, I probably should spend some more time on this, but move my determination down a bit. Player knowledge, that's going to go up over time. Motivating can bring up there. Level of discipline and man management. Yeah, so I should probably be spending a bit more time on this, but I think it's fine. And then if I put my goalkeepers down to low and maybe fitness low as well, and then I can just, that looks about right. And I think we're done with the creating, our profile of our manager, and we should get into the game now. Now this is the first episode, and I have been not blabbling on, but I have been a bit excessive. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done in this episode, but I will definitely try and at least sign a few players and do a bit of pre-season. Maybe if I just go up to the first game and play the first game, I'll see how I'm doing. I'll see how much time the actual transfers take, and I'll go off now. I'll go through the setting up meeting with the owner and my assistant manager. I'll look through the squad, and then I'll come back, whichever comes first, the first game of pre-season or the first transfer. And then if any transfer activity happens, I'll just come straight back. I'll take a look at the squad, but it's not really something I should do on screen. Might take a little bit of time. Anyway, see you then. The first signing has arrived, and it's Chris Eagles. I saw him floating about, picked him up on a free transfer. Fairly decent contract. It was 4.5k if I remember correctly. I'm still not used to seeing where it is. Yeah, up here 4.5k until 2017. Now he's not the best player in the world, but he is a decent player, especially at championship level, and he is just coming in to bolster the squad. Look, these are loans, so it's really just adding that extra experience. I looked at my squad, I took a little look, and I've got a lot of talent in the cams and the right and left, so I'm probably going to play some kind of a variant of a 4-2-3-1 with a target man striker, whether it's Nicky Maynard, Sam Gallagher, or Simon Church. I think they all have that kind of one striker role. I don't think there'll be a partnership going there. So it's probably going to be a 4-2-3-1 by the looks of it. And he can play on either side and through the middle, which is going to be handy. Looking at his stats, his attributes, I should say, he's quite all round. He's got stats in the right places, decent finishing, decent dribbling, passing, technique. They're all. He was a former Man U player. He didn't really. He was alright at Burnley, I think, and then Bolton, maybe Burnley and Bolton. And then, yeah, he didn't really make much, mostly because of injuries. His career kind of dwindled away. But he isn't going to be a starter, so I hope injuries won't be a problem. More of a rotation player, as I previously mentioned here, rotation player. And he might be 29, but he will do a decent championship job. He's a classic championship player. And hopefully, these are the types of signings I want to make. There are a few signings brewing that I might come out now. Obviously, it would look like no time has passed you, but in the next few days, I am trying to scouring the free market, because I didn't mention this, but the budgets aren't the best. I did get hit with my expectations, and I kept it to avoiding relegation, but there was expectations for the cups, and I upped them to the 4th rounds, I think, just to get an extra little bit of money in the wage and the transfers, but it's hardly anything, so it's probably going to be on frees and loans is what the transfer is going to be based off it. I doubt I'll sell anyone. I'm just going to stick with the squad. But as I said, yeah, he is a decent championship player, and it certainly does heighten the level of the squad. He's a good player to have around the camp, and I'm hoping I can really give him the golden years of his career. He always had potential. I've always kind of liked Chris Eagles. Good passing, good shooting. He's just a good winger. He can provide something that you're not expecting. You know, sometimes he can be explosive, and he has that quality about him. And as I said, it's a decent signing on a free transfer, and hopefully there'll be more to come. So I just submitted the team, and I kind of decided just on a whim that I just play this game, and then end the episode here, and then come back next episode with hopefully the second signing, and then I'll kick off that episode. And then I'll probably do all of it until either the last game of pre-season or the first game of the season, and then we'll have that game in that episode. I'm aiming to have a game in episode. I'll see how I'm doing, see how I'm thinking. But yeah, this is the first game of pre-season against Willem. They're a Dutch team. I'm not sure whether they're in the Eredivisie or not. I think they are. I'm pretty sure they are. But yeah, they might be second division. It doesn't matter. It's just a pre-season game. I just didn't get a chance to show you the tactics, so I'll just go over them now. I just set it up real quick. I didn't really spend much time on it. Just a standard 4-2-3-1, like as I was saying. Got a good few players I'm hopeful for, but there isn't much to it. It's just pretty basic. A few instructions. I'll meddle with it a lot before the start of the season, no doubt. But I don't really like a 4-2-3-1, but it's the only thing that really suited this team. As I said, there's a lot of cams and wingers, so it's didn't really have much of a choice about it. And saying that, I did just buy Chris Eagles, another winger, but I thought if I was going to be playing a wing formation, may as well. he was just there begging to be bought, and couldn't resist really. Okay, here we go. I will switch to 2D because no doubt my computer will start messing up. And the sound, that's a problem with just starting. All these are wrong. Or when I say wrong, they're not my preferred settings. That's the word I was looking for. Director camera's fine for me. Replays goals, sounds off. So play conditioning. Okay. Wait, what? Am I missing the obvious, or should there be a big... I can't believe I just said it was fine, even though I said I was switching it to 2D. Never mind. Yeah, this should be a lot more smooth. I'm not sure what people's opinions are on 2D compared to 3D. I'm a bit indecisive, but I don't really mind having it on 2D. If anyone does ask for 3D, I will switch it, but for now, let's just stick to 2D. With performance in mind, 2D is probably the better choice. Yeah, we might win this, we might lose this. It's not really going to have that much of an impact, but I would obviously like a win. But as I said, this is going to change a lot until now. From the start of the season, there's going to be a few more signings in. The transfer budget may not be all that big, but I'm definitely going to try and work my magic and get a few other players in on frees aside from Chris Eagles. Yeah, hopefully we'll see some of that next episode, which might not be released that long after this, to be honest, because I've just got the game, so I'm probably going to just release this and get straight into the second episode. So, but I thought I didn't want to drag this on too long because there was the start of the episode where I was talking for a bit, so I figured that if I went through, did some more transfers and then played a game, the episode would be too long, and I do want to play a game every episode. And as I said, I think that's offside. Yep, it's offside. Where do I know Zikrovic? Because that's not the Ajax one, is it? I'm not sure. Or is that the Ajax one? One's a striker and one's a right winger. Either way, I know him from somewhere. That was not very eventful. I'll not sure about a full team swap, but I'll definitely make some changes at half time here. Sorry about that. Matthew Upson can come on. There isn't much method in this. It's just a bit switching for the sake of switching. Just want to give everyone a chance. Wait, what? Sergio Guzo, alright. He can play deep line playmaker. And Rob Hall can play here. And any other switches I want to make. Seems fine for now. Yeah, as to what positions I'm looking to strengthen, I think left back and maybe goalie. It's not that much of a small squad. I thought it would be a bit smaller there, but there is a lot of surprising depth. So I might have to move a few players on that aren't quite to my standard and generate some funds that way. But yeah, left back's a bit... I have submitted a contract offer to a free agent left back. Oh, sorry about that. Just like Chris Eagles, another free agent. So hopefully you'll see that next episode. But that might not go through. But it looked like a good deal to me. So hopefully it'll be another good deal. Well, it's not really my choice. I can't really tell now if Chris Eagles is a good deal. But I'm being a bit presumptuous just to say it's a good deal. But I think Chris Eagles will turn out to be a steady header, a decent player for us. Sorry, I just got a really itchy throat today, so not really the best for commentating, I guess, but you know, I had to get the game, had to get my hands on it, had to start playing. It looks as if we might concede here for my switching to overload, but that won't really impact me too much. I just switched just to have some action here, because it's been I was about to say relatively highlights game. It has been a highlightless game apart from that offside goal, and now their goal. So it looks like it's going to be a loss in our first game, but it is, you know, far from over. There will be a lot of development of this team over the next few weeks. A lot of changes in tactics, a lot of messing around, experimenting, trying to find out what works best, especially considering it's a new game. But it looks as if the game's going to wind down here. Might be one last highlight, but I'm not expecting anything. Not the best ratings wise. We look to be really failed attacking wise, so that might be a problem, especially after me hyping up our cams and etc. But that might be more related to my tactics. And then Matthew Upson's injured. How long did that take? He says sarcastically. Defender. Anthony Kay. Yeah, Matthew Upson's a good player for tutoring for youngsters. I'm not sure how long he'll stick around before retirement, that is, but if he does stick around for the regens, he would be a good tutor. And there it is, and we've lost our first game. Ooh, we should be winning these matches, should we? Should we have been winning that? I'm not sure whether it really matters, it's just pre-season, boys. Anyways, before I get carried away and start blabbering on again, I'll end this episode here. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you're excited about where I'm going to take MK Dons. I certainly am. And if you are, I'll see you next time for episode 2 of my MK Dons FM 2016 playthrough. See you then.